So if you're trying to lose weight naturally, I'm going to tell you right now, don't go to the internet. This is why. I type in lose weight naturally, and this is what it tells me. It's all about people who, it's all about convincing you that you need to supplement a pill or herbs or remedies to lose weight naturally, and this is untrue. And in fact, and if you start looking on the sides and you see some of the ads, I swear you're going to be convinced that you need liposuction. Come to our clinic and we'll suck it out of you. But here's the deal. The problem is not your lack of that pill. Your problem is not the lack of that supplement, of that herb, of that liposuction. The problem is the food. The problem is that we're bombarded with impurities, things that are not supposed to be in our bodies. In fact, I just seen a study the other day that a massive amount of women have jet fuel ingredients in their breast milk. What the world? This isn't something that we want. So clearly we have problems. Clearly we have things in our body that are not supposed to be there. And that was just one example. The problem is twofold. One, our food. The stuff that we're consuming on a consistent basis, the stuff that our culture has shifted to. We went from eating real food to eating garbage. Everything is sugar loaded, everything is sweetened, everything is fat creating, because all the foods that we're consuming either are sugar coated or are converting to sugar when we ingest them. You think wheat, okay, wheat sounds good, let's have some bread. You look at it and it says 1 gram of sugar, not much, right? But when you eat that wheat is a starch when wheat converts to sugar. So you can either eat sugar and make it sugar in your blood, or eat wheat without sugar, which converts to sugar in your blood. Okay, that's just one thing. So not to throw wheat under the rug, but you can see there's things about food that you probably didn't know, and there's so many other ingredients to starches. Stay away from starches, and wheat is one of them. So try to avoid. I'm not saying go cold turkey and not eat wheat, because I do, but it's a very minimal amount. I try to avoid certain foods. But the reality is our food. Our food is the problem. It's chemical based. We're loading our stuff with herbicides, pesticides, fungicides, insecticides, and these are all going into our body. Why? Because we can tell when we do tests on our cells that we have these things inside of us, and they screw up our hormonal regulation, which is our body, and we put on pounds that we don't want. We hold on to things that we don't want. The other thing is obviously sugar, fats when we don't need them. But the reality is change your food. What you want inside of your body to naturally lose weight, okay, is nutritionally dense, low-calorie diets. And that's really it. So for example, you burn 2,000 calories a day based on what you do. Everybody's different. Some people will burn 500, some people will burn 4,000 calories a day. Everybody is different based on what you do. But if you're burning 2,000 a day, and you're eating 3,000 a day, clearly your body takes that extra energy and converts it into a fat and stores it on your butt, in your gut, to hold for a day when you have a food shortage. Okay, that's just what your body does. So if you're consistently eating 3 calories a day and you're consistently burning 2,000 calories a day, clearly you're going over, clearly you're going to start bulking up and gaining weight. So if you're eating 2,000 a day, okay, but you're ingesting 1,500 or ingesting 1,000, clearly you're going to be burning clearly at the end of the day, when you're consistently burning 2,000 calories, but you're only ingesting 1,000, 1,500, okay, your body still is burning that 2,000, so where's the other, or excuse me, it's still burning 2,000, so where's the other coming from? It's coming from your own body. It's burning the fat that you have stored on your body. That's good. That's what you want. You want to burn off the fat reserves that you have on your body. And so the goal is not to count calories, okay, because that gets crazy. It gets crazy. The goal is just to eat nutritionally dense, low-calorie foods. That's it. Most of these foods are natural, okay? These are things that you would find in nature, undenatured foods, okay? They're not processed in a way where you lose stuff. By the way, if you're eating, let's say, a salad, that's a bad example, but it is natural. So let's say, okay, it's an apple. Let's say you eat an apple. That apple is very, very beneficial to you, right? Yes, it has sugars, but it also has fibers and all these things that go along with it, so you don't rapidly use the sugars and store them as a fat. So a whole apple is good. Apple juice is bad. But where was I going with this? When you eat the apple, when you put it in a microwave or you boil it for applesauce and keep everything together, the problem of that is anything that you heat above 150, about 100, depending on what you have, but let's just say 115 degrees. When you start heating foods up above that temperature, you're going to denature the proteins, you're going to denature the enzymes, meaning they're not going to be as effective. So that apple off of the tree in your mouth has so much nutrition for you. This is something that your body wants, needs, and desires. It has to have this stuff inside of it. But when you take that apple, drop it in boiling water and boil it for a couple minutes, take it out, eat that same apple, the effectiveness of that apple is almost, it's horrible. It denatures so much of that apple and it makes it almost pointless to eat because your body wants the whole food. And when you heat it above 115, bad things start to happen to the food. It's not going to hurt you in terms of poison, but it's going to be non-beneficial for you. So why would you take the time, effort, and energy to spend energy on trying to digest a food that has no or very few nutrition in return? So that is one big fundamental flaw. So eat foods that are if they're processed by cold processing. Process in a way where you're not denaturing, you're not breaking the enzymes and destroying the proteins that make that thing good for you. The other thing is our environment. Our environment is loaded with impurities, things in our air and our water. We're breathing these stuff, we're drinking this stuff, we're eating this stuff. There's preservatives, there's things that we don't want, heavy metals in the way that some companies produce their stuff. There's things in our food that we don't want in our food, and we're eating it and it's screwing our body's hormonal system up and we're gaining weight in places that we don't want to gain them. So the key is nutritionally dense, low calorie food, consistent, not a meal. We're talking like make it a lifestyle. And you also want to start cleansing the body, okay? Cleansing the body of impurities. We have stuff that we've been building inside of our blood, inside of our cells, especially in our fat cells or adipose tissue. That's where we like to store a lot of these things that are not good for us, impurities. And so you've been accumulating these things in your body since before you were born, okay? Literally, your mother has been eating and breathing and she's been pumping that stuff through her blood, and that blood is connected to your blood as an infant, and your body is being born with things inside of it that it doesn't want to be. End of story. This is proven over and over and over again. So it's hard to stop breathing, right, and live on oxygen tanks our whole life. So what we do is we cleanse. There's agents that you can ingest that'll help cleanse the body, okay, of impurities, and then consistently eat foods that don't have those things in there, and plus are nutritionally dense, okay, and low calorie. And these are things that you can get your hands on. And if you go to my website, superfoodguy.com, you will have all sorts of data you can look and research, and there's tons of stuff there. Just go. But the reality is this doesn't have to be as complicated as it seems, okay? It doesn't, and just stay away from the internet, because I'm telling you, there's so many companies that are trying to convince you, okay, they're trying to convince you that you need liposuction, that you need an herb, that you need some type of remedy. And if you click on some of these stuff, I mean, it makes me laugh. It's just, they convince you that you're broken. And so their magic pill, their magic bullet, their magic wand to stick under your skin and suck out that fat is the key. But that's not treating the root problem. The root problem to obesity, the root problem is the foods, okay? It's the impurities in our environment. Remove those harmful foods, remove those impurities, and you'll start to see that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So superfoodguy.com. I hope to see you there. Have a great day. Take care. Adios.